started at 10:30, but Mr. Obama was introducing the new
Yeah,
Supreme Court
Merrick
justice. I mean,
Garland,
the
yes,
nominee
yes.
for that, and so they had a stream that came through here, and so we had
I see.
to stop for a while, but we caught most of it, and then we started, and so this is the fifth show that we've done today.
He's very impressive.
Oh yes, isn't he?
Very impressive.
And it seems it would be quite difficult for the people not to deal with that
That's
man.
right, absolutely.
You know, that's
absolutely.
Well, that's the way Mr. Obama is. You know,
he's a smart man.
That's right.
He's a smart man.
You know, if anybody can get it done, he'll get it done. You know,
that's right.
I always say he was the man that stopped the oil from flowing, and when he first came to office down in Louisiana, where they had the Gulf problem with the oil in there, and nobody thought it could be fixed, and he jumped right in there and came up with some kind of solution.
I see.
So,
I see.
Yeah, well, I think he's at least the ball is in their court.
Oh, absolutely.
Ain't no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
And ain't no use me asking you what you think about Mr. Trump.
Oh gosh, we're going. If he's elected, it'll turn back the clock
50 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's trying to. He says that. In the old days, we used to do it this way. That's what he's. But hopefully he won't be.
Stand by.
Thank you and welcome back to the second segment of the show for today. We're talking to Dr. CPoe, and the topic is the relationship between mental illness and violence. And Dr. Poe, I think you gave us some information during that first segment indicating that there was a real relationship between mental illness and violence. And so let's pick up where you wish dealing with that topic.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say a word about mental illness. It's really a condition which involves a disturbance of one's thinking, emotions, and behavior to the extent that the person has difficulty in their relationships with other people and also in their social or occupational functioning. Violence, I think, at least from my perspective, is an act that does harm or threaten to do harm to another person or persons. And I also believe that violence, it can be often or is often directed at oneself. Anytime I do something that I know is going to do damage to my body and therefore to my mind, to me that's an act of violence. So I believe that the research shows that people who are mentally ill, as I said, are often more the victims of violence rather than the perpetrators of violence. Now, there is a subset of persons who are mentally ill who are more prone to commit an act of violence, such as people who have symptoms such as paranoid delusions, thinking somebody's out to harm or hurt them, or people who have what's called command hallucinations, in which they feel voices are speaking to them, telling them to hurt other people and or telling them to hurt themselves, and people who have other psychotic disorders, which means they're out of touch with reality. Now, there are other factors that contribute to violent behavior other than just mental illness. One is poverty, the other is homelessness, the other is personal adversity, the other is if a person has a family history of violence, or if a person is exposed to violence in their home as a child, this person is much more prone to commit a violent act. If a person has been assaulted in the past, they're more likely to assault someone else. If a person has a parent or parents who have a criminal record, they're more likely to engage in an act of violence. But you know, I want to get back for a moment to violence directed towards oneself. A lot of behavior that people engage in is really acts of violence towards themselves. And of course, if I injure myself, I'm also indirectly injuring other people. For example, Smoking does damage. We know it does damage to the lungs. It puts one at risk of developing cancer, lung cancer. To me, that's an act of violence.
And
if
yet
it's
people
ongoing,
still continue to smoke.
Yet people continue to smoke. Excessive drinking is an act of violence. If it's excessive, of course, it does damage